Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video. And today we have more Pathfinder RPG goodness. That's right, we're talking Flip Mat. This time we're talking Flip Mat Classics. Red Light District. Wet, dry, and permanent markers erase from the mat. Just like all other Pazio mats, they are 24 by 30 inches, 1 inch squares on each side. And for the game mechanics, remember it's 1 inch square equals 5 feet. Paint the town red. Whether your party is looking for contacts in the criminal underworld or fleeing an angry thieves guild, no game master wants to draw every darkened alley and ramshackle storefront. This double-sided map even matches up with Pathfinder Flip Mat Pub Crawl, providing a setting for any encounter needing a seedy atmosphere. Flip Mat Classics, the most popular Pathfinder flip mats in history, return. These fan favorite maps feature versatile adventure settings, city streets, forests, ships, taverns, and more. And now they're back for a repeat performance. Durable and lavishly detailed, these essential adventure set pieces will bring excitement to your game table for years to come. Of course, it gives you the directions with how to use them. This was released in 2021 by the great people over at Pazio. For more information, you can go to pazio.com/maps. This was $14.99 at retail value. Again, for more information, you can go to pazio.com/maps, pazio.com/pathfinder, and of course, also pazio.com/starfinder to look at all the different types of maps that they have to offer. Of course, in the back, they also have the photos of the maps that come inside the two sides of the map. So let us crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. Hopefully I'll be able to get this off pretty quickly and not cause much of a problem for us. And there we go. And bing, bang, boom, it came right off, which is always good. As you know, I started the cutting of the wrapping, the cellophane, prior to starting the video, so that always helps out. The dust jacket comes off. Some people throw these out. I wouldn't know why, but they do. I always keep mine. This way I can keep a reference as to what I have, and I know exactly by looking on the side. It tells me exactly what I need to know. Okay, as with any other mat, from this style mat, it's got to be cracked before you use it. So take it, you bend it, because you want your mat to lay flat on the table. And there you have it. It lays perfectly flat on the board. So let's take it from the bottom. Always, as I always say, with all the maps that I've done unboxings for, when you're talking Pazio, when you see the symbol on the bottom right-hand corner, that to me is an indication as to where south is. It does not need to be that in your games, but I always use it for when I'm showing the maps. I always use this as the bottom part of the map. And in the top left-hand corner, there's always the name of the RPG game, which is Pathfinder in this case, and the title of the map as well, in the top left-hand corner. So again, starting right off here, you see like a tavern right there. We've got ourselves a waterway. When we look up close, the attention to detail is just phenomenal. All these maps, I own quite a number of the Pazio mats. Again, Pazio does not pay me for these. I picked these up on my own, and I use them for, I also use them for Pathfinder, Starfinder, which is my go-to science fiction game, but I also use the Pathfinder maps for that as well when running a campaign or a side quest. I also have used maps of this ilk for Star Trek, the role-playing game, for Pathfinder, for what are games, Mothership, or Aliens, the role-playing game, or even if I'm using a cityscape, I'll use it for Blade Runner. So I've used these maps for quite a few number of different role-playing game systems, and they work phenomenal no matter what system you're using them for. You know, just because it's Pazio and just say it does this for Pathfinder. Some people don't play Pathfinder. Some people don't play Starfinder. That's okay. We'll forgive you this time. But again, you can use these maps for any role-playing system. If you want to use them for Dungeons and Dragons, it would work well as well. You just have to adjust the scale of the maybe the 1 inch doesn't equal 5 feet in those other game systems. So you just would have to adjust it for that. Again, the attention to detail is just fantastic on each of these maps. I picked this one up because, again, it's a nice cityscape where, again, waterway in the middle, you got to cross on the bridges. Again, I could use this map here, and I was thinking about it too, if I want to do a Star Trek role-playing game and I wanted to play that. You know, they beam to a planet that has, you know, something that's back in olden age, you know, back in the days of Roman gods and goddesses. There it is, boom. Perfection. Or somewhere in old European type of city. All right, there you go. So that's the top of your map. So let's take it from the bottom and work our way around it. Again, you got the bridge, you got the waterways. Again, to me, this is the bottom section of the map. I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to flip the flip map. And this would be your center point. I'm going to move up this way so you can see what it looks like right towards the center. If I wanted to play a role-playing game about gangs of New York, I could do that. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute, as I continue to tour you around the red light district in this part of the city. And maps like this to me are very versatile. Again, when I was talking about being the north section, this is what I was talking about, because the Pathfinder logo is always on the top left, the Pazio is always on the bottom right. So I always consider this north in the map, but again, depending on the way your characters are entering the city, that may change. So again, let's go down here and stop. Let's go up here more towards the center section again, so you can see that from this angle, from this side. Gangs in New York, right? Or the Warriors. So they're talking about turf battles, right? Hypothetically, our crew is coming up again, crossing that bridge and saying, you know, let's venture over to the other side. So we have guys who have hex bases. They fit. Again, these bases are meant for 25 and 28 millimeter bases. I can use a figure that is from Dungeons and Dragons. I can put him in there. I can even use a guy, go and use my party here. So I need one from the normal Pazio bases. Again, that's a character. Let me see him. This is a character from Starfinder. So that's a Pazio base right there. Put that right down over here. They're deciding, and I can even use a regular pawn from a regular board game. So I'll put him, move this guy over here. Let's say they're taking him to a meeting. Well, guess what? On this side, we have some baddies that say, you shall not pass, and you're not coming onto our side. This is our turf, and we're not giving it up without a skirmish or fight or battle, or however you want to say it. Skeleton warriors coming up on the side, and then their leader's like, come on guys, let's take them out. So we're going to fight over that bridge. So again, reason I'm showing you the figures is very simply put, it's an easy way to show you how the figures help the board pop even more. Now, if you want to throw some 3D terrain on them, you could do that as well. I'm showing you variation also. I'm showing you the 25 millimeter circle base. I'm showing you a base that is a grid base, or a, just forgot the term, I just used it before. Anyway, I got a regular pawn here. I have a regular circle base right here. Okay, this is a hex base. That's what it is. And I have a base that has been flocked and changed up a little bit. And then you have regular black bases on that side. And you see how they all pop regardless of how they are sitting on the map itself, which is makes your game even more enjoyable. Now, if you have a budget that can't afford these kinds of things, so we don't have the standees from Starfinder. We don't have the standees from Pathfinder Bestiary. we don't have any other board games around the house, or we don't have any miniatures. Okay, well, guess what? With the wet dry erase, you can do this as well. You can still use these maps. All you got to do is put X's as to where you want your heroes to be, and put zeros where you're using a wet dry erase marker. I put this, my O's where the bad guys are, and then draw arrows as to where they are fighting and who they're shooting at. It's not a big deal. It's not a big problem whatsoever. And again, I've never used a permanent marker. It says you can use permanent marker. I personally wouldn't use it. I was using Expo marker, which is a wet dry erase marker. You can use a when you're done, use a regular tissue paper and you wipe it off, or you put a little water on it. You can do that as well. These maps are made that if you spill water, you spill a drink, or spill anything on these, as long as you take care of it right away, the map goes right back to normal. Does not affect it all because it is covered in plastic. So anyway, that's one side of this fantastic map. Let's roll on to the other side. Let's go to the other, as they say, let's go to the other side of town. So looking on this side of town, it's a different type of map. So let's take a look at this. This is pretty cool too. Again, you got a little bit more waterway here. Again, this is pretty fantastic overall. When you look at the cartography, you look at the beautiful, you see the beautiful details to each of the maps. Again, to me, this is the bottom part because, again, you have the Pazio logo down here. I use that as the southern side. So let's go more towards the middle of the map again. When we're going through the middle of the map, we're seeing lots of stuff here. And that's always great as well. Lots of detail. You have cabins as to people who are living there and stuff like that. Lots of great stuff. Again, lots of rooms to explore. Got some barrels. You have some, if you have some 3D terrain, you throw it on there as well. You know, that always helps to enhance the map as well. So if I flip it to this side, again, the water, the detail inside the water is the waves, the crashing waves, all that stuff. You see it right there. So beautifully detailed on the map. The submerged rocks, the crates, the barrels, the bridges, all the docks, all these things we got here. It's just, and you got some boats on the bottom too, which are 2 scale. It's a 1-person boat, looks like down there. And that's that. So let's take it from the bottom of the map again, and we'll work our way around to the center point. I'm going to show you what the map looks like. Very, very cool. And we're going to flip it this way now. Again, I like to show you the full, all the sides of the map. And this would be what we consider the center point of the map. And as we look at the map, we're going to move it forward here to the center, to the actual center. We've got the actual center. And then we continue moving forward. Again, we're going to show you again what I consider to be the northernmost part of the map, which is the top of the map. Again, depending on the way the characters are coming from. Again, if you're coming in on this side, that would be considered the north, that would be considered the east, the west, and this would be the southern part of the map. But again, it depends on which direction your adventures are coming in from when using the map. Again, I always consider this the northern section because in the top left corner, there's always the title of the map, which is right here, and the logo of the game that it's brought to you by, the game system that's used in. Okay, again, as I always say, whenever using these maps, I always say the exact same thing. You do not need to use them just for Pathfinder or Starfinder. You can use them for any type of role-playing game that you want to use them for. They're high quality, and you can use them for game after game after game. There's no issue with that. So again, I'm going to move you more towards the center point again so we can take a look at it. And we have another bridge over here. Well, again, our captain is exploring with his crew, and they're making their way across another bridge to try to get it into this section of the town. And we've got our hex base that fits right on the map as well. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. And we have our pawn behind him. We're lining him up over here. And we have another friend over here who's on our part of our party. And last but not least, we have again the Starfinder guy right here coming up in third place. Again, we have our baddies who are saying, "You will not pass by us again." They're coming up and they're going to disrupt everything. Coming up from different sections. Skeleton Warrior saying, "Not on my watch." And of course, then the leader is behind them saying, "I'm going to get them from this side." Again, why am I showing you the figures? Just to show you how adding three-dimensional figures does help the map pop even more when you're playing your game. And again, I'm showing you different types of bases. I'm showing you your 25/28 millimeter base that's on a Dungeons and Dragons figure. I'm showing you the base, the 25-inch base that comes with the Pazio miniature, standee, I should say. I'm showing you a hex grid miniature base as well. Okay, this guy is a fully painted figure, but he also has been based, so that changes the bottom a little bit as well. And I have a regular pawn from a regular board game, just to show you the different types of figures that you can use. And also you have black backgrounds and you have white backgrounds. So depending on which one you want to use is totally up to you. But again, if your budget doesn't allow you to purchase Starfinder, that's okay. Don't need those guys. If you don't have access to the bestiary pack from Pathfinder, okay, that's no problem either. And if you decide that you don't want to purchase any painted miniatures, or you don't want to paint miniatures, or you don't want to build them, all right, we'll take them off the board as well. And let's just say you don't have any other board games, so you don't want to use regular pawns. You don't have to. Again, with a dry erase and marker, you go in there, you put X's as to where your heroes are at, put O's as to where your villains are at, you draw lines and arrows pointing to who's attacking who and what they're using. That is also fine, no problem whatsoever. Again, I only use an Expo marker, which is a dry erase marker. I've never used permanent markers on these. I wouldn't use a permanent marker on these. If you choose to, that is a decision that you make. Again, once you put a little bit of, if you use a tissue paper, you can use that, wipe that dry erase marker right off there. If it doesn't come right off, you can always wet it a little bit, and then because it's got that high grade plastic on here, you can go right over here, wipe it down, and you'll have no problems with the map. The map will stay just perfect the way it is. Again, if you drop some soda on it, you drop some wine, no matter what beverage you're drinking during your gaming session, if you drop it on here, you wipe it up very quickly. As long as you don't submerge it, you should be just fine with the map itself as well. And again, so we're going to move it to the center. I'm going to say everything you see included here, except for, again, want to remind you, the miniatures that I showed you, whether it be the standees, whether it be the regular figures, or the pawns that you use in the board games, they are not included with the purchase of the map. They are for example purposes only. So everything you see here that we talked about today is included, and this concludes our unboxing of Pathfinder role-playing game Flip Mat Classics Red Light District. Wet, dry, and permanent markers erase from the mat. Again, this is brought to you by our good friends over at Pazio. It was released in 2021. The base price was $14.99. For more information about this map, you can go to pazio.com/maps, or you can go to pazio.com/pathfinder, pazio.com/starfinder. About all the flip mats and flip tiles are available for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. As always, thank you so much for joining us for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time released new content page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the remainder of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.